past couple of weeks, I've been playing through the EVH 5153 Stealth 50-watt head. I'm actually giving this back in a day or so. I'll explain that at the end of the video and why I have this amp, but I couldn't have this amp in my possession without sharing it with you guys here. Now, of course, you did not click on this video to hear the EVH Stealth clean channel. We'll get to that, but we're just going to start out of the gate with a fire-breathing red channel. Real quick, if you like riffs like that and you want to play some riffs like that, then check out my free Metal Riffs and Licks. It's the ultimate metal guitar practice guide. There's a link in the description, so after the video, grab your copy. What you just heard was the raw tone of this amplifier. That was just the red channel. You saw where the gain was cranked up, probably around 7, 8-ish, something like that. But no pedals, no overdrive pedal, not even a noise gate. And by the way, I've got this hooked up to a Mesa cab. Thank you to my good friend Cliff, who gifted this to me. I've got it running through that cab, and I've got it mic'd up with the good old Short SM57 microphone. So that's exactly what you're hearing, running it through an interface, recording it in PreSonus Studio One. So yeah, that's what you heard, and that's what you're hearing throughout this entire video. So with that, we'll get back to the red channel. Don't worry, because we're gonna use some pedals with this thing, effects loop, all that good stuff. But let's go to the clean channel real quick. I know nobody wants to hear clean, so we'll keep this short. Now, what I like to do with the clean channel, again, that was raw as well. No pedals, nothing. But I'm going to do one thing before we move on to the other channels. Since I'm recording this through the interface, I've got a microphone connected to the interface, I'm going to drop a chorus effect on this channel here. Let's just hear how that sounds. That sounds so much better. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't really like clean sounds, but when I play clean, chorus is a must. I usually put some ambient reverb on it as well. I didn't for this video, but with the chorus, I think that sounded pretty good. So let's move over to the blue channel. And this is the big difference with this amp, the Stealth, as opposed to like the regular 5153. This does have the 6L6 tubes. We'll get into the specs and all that good stuff. I'll have those in the description, but that's the core difference. Is the blue channel it's wired a little bit different here, but still got that cool rock sound, but you can kind of dial it up. Well, let's just hear it. once again, you heard how you can kind of dial that back a bit and you get kind of a good gritty rock sound. Now, I don't know if you're going to go play like, you know, country or southern rock with this amplifier. I mean, you could just crank the gain like all the way down. I guess that wouldn't be cranking it, but turn it like to 1 or something like that. You might get some more grit out of that. But yeah, I mean, this blue channel, I mean, it's made for metal. This amplifier is made for metal and pretty much in every subgenre of metal. So of course you heard it cranked up. We cranked the gain on the blue channel up and that sounded pretty good. I mean, that's a very usable metal tone with just that alone in the blue channel. Now I want to circle back to the red channel because we're going to add something. Actually, I've got 2 things I want to share with you here. But before we do that, let's just go over the specs of this amplifier. The high level specs of this thing is you've got 3 channels. You've got your clean channel, and then of course you've got your blue channel. That's kind of your, I don't want to call it the hard rock gritty channel. I mean, it's a metal channel, but maybe more of like your classic metal channel, if you will. But in any case, you've got that. They share the same EQ, but you do have separate volume and separate gain for that. Now, if we head over to the red channel, of course, it's got its own EQ here. Of course, you got the fire-breathing gain. Man, this thing sounds really, really awesome. And then the amplifier has a presence control that's shared throughout all channels there as well. Now, one cool thing on the back of the amp, and I'll cover some more of these specs because we're about to use something on the back here, but on the back of the amp, you've got a resonance control as well. And to be honest, I could probably cut this down a little bit. It might be a little too high because I'm playing this again through a 412 Mesa cabinet. So this thing is like a beast in the room. It's a beast in a good way though. It's like a friendly beast. But now I want to share another tone using the red channel, and this is going to have a little seasoning sprinkled on it, maybe a little hot sauce. Was the red channel with an overdrive and a noise gate in front of the amp, and I'll share exactly how I have this set up, and of course my gain structure here as well, because that changes a little bit when you have an overdrive in front of the amplifier, especially with this amp, because this amp, well, it can get like brutally heavy. Almost too much gain. I've got my guitar running first through the MXR Classic distortion pedal. I don't even think they make this pedal anymore, but I've had this thing forever and it works great for an overdrive. Of course, I've got the distortion all the way down and the outputs all, not quite all the way up, but is cranked up there quite a bit. Then I have that running through an MXR Smart Gate. Now, I've got passive pickups on both guitars that I've been using throughout, so my settings on the gate really aren't that high. If you're playing with active pickups, you might have to make some adjustments there. But in any case, that's the MXR Smart Gate. There's a lot of bells and whistles. I don't use half of them. And of course, that is running directly into the EVH Stealth. Now, that being said, with an overdrive pedal, my gain is like down quite a bit. Actually, it's less than halfway up. I've got it around 4. So that seems to work really well with an overdrive pedal. Now, if I'm playing without the overdrive pedal, which you heard before, then I'll crank the gain up to about 7. So those are my 2 sweet spots that I found with this amplifier, with this Stealth. Again, if I'm playing with an overdrive pedal, that gain's around like 4, maybe crank it up to 5 if you want. You know, play around with it. If I'm not using an overdrive pedal, then I'll have the gain set to around 7, maybe 8. Real quick, this is what the gain sounds like. Let's turn off all the pedals. This is what the gain sounds like cranked all the way up. No overdrive, no noise gate, nothing. Here it is. Sneak peek peek of the back of the amp when we talked about the resonance control earlier, but let's turn the amp around real quick and I'll share what's on here. So of course you've got your typical power and standby. You also have input for headphones and MIDI. You've got a foot switch input, which that can come in real handy foot switch. That was a horrible pun. Let's start over. Anyway, you also have an effects loop. We're about to check out the effects loop in a second, but I want to go over here to your outputs, your speaker outputs. This is a really neat feature here. You've got load impedance. You got a switch here for 4, 8, and 16 ohms. So that's just a handy feature to have for your speaker outputs. All right, what I want to do real quick is I want to use the effects loop. I'm going to plug in a delay pedal here and let's hear what that sounds like. Just a Boss delay pedal going through the effects loop, and that sounded pretty good. I mean, I'd be comfortable using that like on a record. I know a lot of times we use plugins. I talked about that earlier, and that's, of course, that's a safe way to go. Record the raw tone and then add the effects after the fact. But hey, if I were to use a delay plugin through the effects loop, you could probably add some reverb there if you wanted to. I'd feel very comfortable using that for recording, or of course for live as well. So I thought that sounded really good. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments on that. But I want to first give a huge shout out to my friend Steve Ayala, who let me use this amplifier. So what happened here? A quick backstory. I've been practicing with the band Nasty Savage. You guys know I got called to play a couple of shows with them, which has been a phenomenal experience. But for band practice, they're practicing through real amplifiers. But my amplifier, it just stopped working, so I needed an amp. So I'm like, man, I was just looking to see who had amps for sale out there, and I came across one of his posts. So I'm like, hey dude, I may end up buying this thing from you, but I could use an amplifier for a couple of weeks here. So he just let me borrow it. He was kind enough to let me borrow it to see, of course, if I like it and that sort of thing. It's an awesome little amplifier, by the way. I say little, I mean, this 50-watt head puts out a massive amount of sound. But Steve is with a band called Dying Tide, and they're an amazing band in Tampa here, the Tampa area. We saw them, and they put on a great show. Steve's a phenomenal guitar player. So I want to give Steve and his band a quick shout out. And once again, dude, thank you so much. I've got a link to his band in the description of this video here. So once again, dude, huge shout out. So guys, with this amplifier, we need to hear this clearly in the full mix. I'm going to share that with you right now. Oh, and a quick reminder, if you don't have my free Metal Riffs and Licks practice guide, then grab a copy of that. That has helped so many of my subscribers just get to that next level. And of course, I cover the fundamentals there and a little taste of theory, a lot of stuff in there. So grab a copy of that. It's completely free. Now, if you have Metal Riffs and Licks and you like my videos, my teaching style, then check out the Jason Stallworth Guitar Academy. Links for both are in the description of this video. I like to tell you guys how I do things, so I'll just make this short. What you just heard was actually a real recording from my last album called Overcometh. Actually, that was the song Overcometh. So what I did was I just muted the vocal tracks and I muted all the other guitars, but I kept the mix, the drum mix in there, and I kept the bass guitar in there, and I just opened up 2 tracks and I recorded this guitar with this amplifier mic'd up again with a Shure SM57. That's what you've been hearing this entire time. This has been mic'd stuff, so my ears are kind of like fatigued right now. But in any case, that's what you heard. I recorded 2 rhythm tracks. You guys know I always hard pan those rhythm tracks, gives you a nice full sound. And of course, I recorded the lead track up the middle using the delay pedal and the effects loop. So that's what you just heard in the full mix there. But this amp, I mean, this amp just kicks out some gain, massive amounts of gain. I would almost say too much gain. I know that's not really a thing, but you know, it's got a lot of gain, I'll just say that. But it also cleans up nicely too. So yeah, I mean, I can see someone using this for 7-string guitar or down tunings. I mean, or in standard tuning as well. You guys know I most of the time I use standard tuning on my 6-string guitars. Actually, this is still tuned to D standard for the Nasty Savage song, so I'm kind of all over the place. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on this amplifier. Again, it's the EVH 5153 Stealth. This has the 6L6 tubes in it. It's a 50-watt head. Let me know your thoughts if you have this amp, if you like it, how you like it, or if you just liked what you hear in this video and now you're thinking, hey man, I'm gonna go buy an EVH amplifier. Also guys, stay tuned. My friend Steve is going to let me use his other amplifier, which is just a 5153 6L6, but not the Stealth. This is kind of the older version. So stay tuned for that video. I'll have that coming out soon. And once again, I'd love to know your thoughts on the tones you heard in this video. As always, keep it metal and keep playing music.